Financial, talking to you from the CME trading floor, short interest rate option market. Anyway, so as I'm sure you're aware by now, we have a peace deal between the US and Iran. As to whether or not you deem it that it's a good thing, or I mean, it's a good thing that the war has stopped. Apparently, the details, not so much like with whether or not it's good, but regardless, we're not interested in that so much as opposed to the way it affects the markets. And with oil marking down significantly on the back of this agreement, there is relief as far as inflation goes. So on the back of that, we have seen also oil, as you can see here, down over 5%. S&P up nearly 2%, 140 points, backing up towards the highs. We'll talk about that in a minute. And the rate market backing off, still looking to imply a hike by the end of the year, but at least not two now. But we're still kind of, sitting on a fairly good chance that that's what will be the case. So that we'll have to wait and see how that pans out. However, the stock market looking pretty good here. It bounced off this trend line here. If we're looking at year end here, you could possibly see it touch 8,500 for the end of the year. We'll put the track line there. That is a now achievable target if it carries on with this uptrend. It did bounce off this support line. This is where I would look. I myself am not overly enthused by the valuations to some of the AI products, and specifically SpaceX, which we will be looking at in further depth tomorrow, the day after. As soon as we get some published settles on the options, we'll be able to have our system do some valuation. We will look at upside and downside targets of that. But at the end of the day, that was a very strong debut and offered some optimism to the market. We are comfortably below 4.5% rather on 10-year now as well. So the trend there is for that to carry on. And while we're on the subject, I said about the S&P, let's have a quick look at that 8,500 target for year end. Is there anything worth doing? I did a run just before we went on air. So year end 8,500 target, very reasonable. What do we have? There's some good ratio trees, which I'm not going to suggest. It only because these things have inherent risk to them. A tree will be selling a net option. It's apart from being capital intensive, it does offer risk. Not that you end up having a melt up to the upside, but movements before you get close to expiration can cause you a lot of pain, and so I would avoid that. If you're on the system, just click on vanilla on this one, and as you saw further down the list here, it like the 8550, 8600 call spread, or failing that, this one here, and this is one I'm going to choose, the 8500, 8550. It's lower down and yields slightly higher. The other one is marginally, cheaper, so you could do more contracts, and therefore the returns slightly got more chance, the system thinks. but fairly marginal. And just I like the fact that it's a lower strike. The lower strike gives me more chance of it making money. Its fair value is in its 28th percentile. This is looking at equivalent options, out the money options, going back in a constant maturity. So it's looking at same days to expiration, same amount of out the money options, and we value that so we can see where the current Theo is worth comparably. And you can get this one on. It's settled though at $5.75. Even get this anything. However, as we can see here, we're so if you can get this one around that price, 585, we think that's worth doing. It's not a bad trade at all. That is prior before costs. It's only marginally up from yesterday, given the rise in the futures and underlying. So we like that one. The D's 8500, 8550 call spread will give you a lot of, it's going to monetize pretty well if we continue this uptrend like quickly. And obviously, if you do get up in that area, you'll make the more money. Kind of like, you'll make more money if we actually get above it. But you'll see here, it monetizes pretty damn quickly, even if you're like 3 months in. This would be a great way of expressing that. What else have we got here? Kazakhstan has signed a 10 billion AI project deal with Nvidia, who of which are looking to raise $20 billion from high-grade bond sales. So we'll keep an eye on that and how the stock performs on the back of that. But I guess the main news is obviously this Iran enter the Iran-US conflict, and we will have to see now if the focus is going to go back on the economy now that this at least seems to be over for now. Can't see much else in the way of news. So focus has been on the World Cup. And where is it? There was, have a look, I think, at Broadcom, AVGO, AVGO. And we ran a big bull in this one before. Let's just have a quick check in. To see how that's getting along. Broadcom currently up at 393. It's having a reasonable rally. We were targeting this one here, and we're looking at. I believe this was one I chose here. $2.25, $2.39 after cost. This fly currently, where are we? 3. That one did lose value after the numbers, but subsequently currently worth $1.68. That one's down from 225, but as I said, at least I'm still in the game. I haven't lost everything, and that's the point. This one would be a small loss on this trade after adjusting for volatility, but it still gives me a chance if my direction is right. I now have another 6 months left to run on this trade. So even if it goes up fairly short term, I'll still be able to turn this one into a profit. But again, if I choose it to be wrong, I haven't lost that much, and like 50 cents basically on this trade. That's the point. I can just sell this out and move along if I no longer believe in Broadcom and whether or not it can bounce back up and rally to the highs. So that's all for me. As always, better be lucky than be good. So be lucky and have a wonderful day's trading.